Now the broadcast is live. All right.
Oh, dope.
There we go.
Man, I just been
now
working
we're
out,
broadcasting.
doing my
What's
shit.
up, ladies and gentlemen? It is a little later than normal, but guess what? Who gives a damn? It's dark out. As you heard, our special guest tonight that's taking over the stream is. I've heard him known as a couple of things. He's definitely got multi faces. He is an enigma. He is Bobby Gucci, Mr. Gucci, Tom Dagnino, Finstock, whatever the hell you want to be called tonight.
Yeah.
How's it going?
Man, you know what it is? I mean, look, a lot of people were stressed out about this thing. I'm only flourishing. This only makes me a stronger man. Like I told everybody, I'm coming out with the 3 S's: smarter, sexier, and stronger. If that's
nice.
even that's remotely possible.
Beautiful.
It's only made me a stronger person, man. This is something that is obviously a problem, and a lot of people are dying. There's no question about that, which is pretty screwed up, and mostly like older people, whatever, some underlining issues and things like that. Look, this is something, man. But this is something that makes you forces you to look in the mirror, and a lot of people don't want to do that. So when you sit back, whenever in your life is going to happen here, it's like it's almost virtually impossible to have the whole globe stop at one time. I mean, we're talking the whole globe. Now, third world countries stop all the time. They get some bullshit ass diseases over in Africa and China, but it never really makes its way over here. It's here. And I'm in a bowling alley right now that is closed. That would be jam-packed right now with a zillion people. I live right across the street from it. That's why my average went up from 175 to about 240.
Get that Rona game on.
Oh man. Shit, you got to think bowling alleys might be really worse for wear because people are sticking their hands in their balls all the time, and all the other shit, and all the other stuff that goes on with this. So it's like pretty interesting stuff. I have my own ball anyway. It's clear with a Finstock mask in it. It's amazing.
Oh, beautiful! Nice. The head of Finstock in a ball.
Yeah, some chick made it for me. I don't even know her name.
Nice. Nice.
It's good stuff. That's the kind of life I'm living.
I don't know why that wouldn't surprise me.
Down one bit.
Yeah.
I don't take to the streets like I used to, and I usually stay in a couple of block radius. But I live in like a nice,
ladies and gentlemen, he probably met her
equestrian, kind of center where people ride horses and do other cool shit. So
I remember that time he went to JTE and made him go into Mark Riley's house.
Oh yeah, that was pretty amazing too.
Yeah,
I mean, a lot of people slow down, but a lot of people are going to find their niche. People. This is the time to really figure out yourself if you haven't.
True. Well, let me ask you something, Finstock. Let me ask you something. One thing that got me through last year definitely was season 1 of Little Bobby and the Juice. Absolutely love that series. Because I think it came along at a perfect time where the whole world is all PC crazy. And I think, that just broke all kind of barriers. How do you think this pandemic craziness is going to affect season 2?
I think it's only going to make it better because now I think a lot of the people are going to sit back and you know what? I don't think people are going to be afraid to say what they really feel anymore because now it's like everything's out the window. So, I pressed the brakes on that, on a lot of the comedy on that, like really the crazy stuff, because I just couldn't do it. I needed promotion. So the only way that Collider Live and other people were going to jump on my back a little bit and help me with it is if I toned it down slightly. I mean, a little bit. I couldn't do certain things that I wanted to do. Like Christian would be like, no, we can't promote that. I'm like, fuck, I was like, what if I do this? I was like, what if I do this and that? He's like, yeah, that's not bad. So we've been doing that, but now, like I said, it already has a little built-in fan base that we're cool with. So now you're going to see some really balls to the wall stuff. You're going to see a true. This is some of the best writing I've ever done in my whole entire life.
Nice. I think with Harlock out of Collider now.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about it. Like I said, we're filming it now. 2 episodes are in the can. They're bizarre. Juice has stepped up his game. Bobby has stepped up his pimp game. It's gonna be cockbolt shitty, dude. It's a wrap. It's gonna be real fun.
Excellent.
I actually have a question about that.
Okay, whatever you guys want, I'll answer any question you guys want to answer.
All right. So obviously, O.J. Simpson, synonymously known and associated with the Ford Bronco.
Correct.
Are we gonna get a Ford Bronco character on Little Bobby?
We're gonna. It starts off. The first episode starts off. We're gonna start playing on OJ's persona a little more as well. What we really couldn't do in the first season, but this one's gonna have some backstories. We really did some special stuff this season. Frank Stallone's gonna make an appearance. Former Met Lenny Dykstra is gonna make an appearance.
Nice.
I've been really going after some D-list celebrities to get on this show and see what's up.
D-list celebrities.
Yeah,
that's what we want.
So I think Maddie wanted us to go around the table, and Alan Spaceman Shepard, how you doing tonight? Coming us live from Oahu.
Coming from Oahu, coming from the land of aloha. Feeling good. Super excited to be talking to the man, the myth, the legend. Just living life.
Yeah, man, that's the way to do it. You got to do it every single day.
That's right.
I live my life.
Day, chairman of Titan Trivia, down in our corner, and Chris, you already said you're inspired by Finstock's presence here. Gucci, Finstock, Bobby, Tom, whatever you're calling him.
Whatever you want to call me.
The funniest thing is,
I just call him Great.
When so I'm almost 25. I'm still a young buck in a way. But my brother was your biggest fan. He was like your biggest fan.
Oh, that's great.
And he was unfortunately killed.
Oh, Jesus!
5 months ago.
Oh my God! Killed, like murdered?
Yeah, it was a bad situation. It was a home invasion in Florida.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
And he would have been 31. If I told him right now I was talking to you, he would probably punch me in the face. Because
he's watching. He's watching from somewhere.
That's how I know. That's how much he means to you. You mean to him. But honestly, I was trying really hard not to cry when I first saw you and talked to you, just because you got me through so much. I used to be this fat kid. Now I'm trying to be a bodybuilder in ways. And if it wasn't for your humor, I don't think I would have made it. That means not even in this world.
That means a lot to me, dude. That means a lot.
And if I got my General Truman and I'll be Rambo, Bobby Gucci's my General Truman.
Hey, shoot, that's the way to do it. Eating stuff to make a billy goat puke. But seriously though, you were his biggest fan. Wow, you were his favorite. Oh yeah. That's pretty fantastic.
There he is.
I miss him. I'll miss him for that. I'm sure I've seen him on streams and not streams, but different comment sections. And things like that.
Yeah. He was a big fan of yours. That was his goal, was to meet you.
What I do is, and that means a lot to me. What I like to do and just bring forth the realness and tell people the truth. And a lot of people don't know how to do that. I'm not a yes man. If you're doing something wrong, I'm gonna tell you you're doing something wrong. And a lot of people can't handle that. But a lot of people really understand the plight. Now, when I first came on these shows, people were like, "This guy's a fucking asshole. This guy's this, that, and the other thing." But then there was a certain group of fans were like, "Yo, this dude knows what he's talking about." I mean, look, I've been around a long time in the streets, and I've lived a good life. I've lived a bad life. I mean, my struggles weren't easy either. I mean, if you watch the things I do and tell my stories and things like that, it wasn't always easy for the gooch,
True.
So yeah. And that's the way I operate.
Some of the best old Schmoes show was when you came out with the stories and we had to figure out if they were true or not. That was some of the best entertainment around. It was great.
It was unbelievable stuff. When I came on, the whole show stopped. They just couldn't handle it. They didn't. No. I was bringing Instagram models on, all kinds of crazy stuff. But then when this foolishness hit. Not the pandemic, but just the overall pussification of America. Some of the humor had to take a back seat, and it's frustrating because that was 60% of my humor was just being offensive and just talking real talk. So you got to hold your tongue in this environment, especially if you want on the show. And
I feel like I'm listening to myself.
Yeah, there you go.
I never knew that you felt
right.
Yeah, there you go. It just
you use the exact terminology as I do.
No, but honestly, Honestly, Tom, I know my brother's watching, and he loved you to death. So I just wanted you to know that.
Oh man, like I said, man, that's it means a lot to me because I like to what I say and what I do. I don't really want it to fall on deaf ears. So if you reach like a couple of people, like Mark and Christian, these guys reach hundreds of thousands of people at times. They have big huge fan bases, but there's a select group who listen to me and ask me for knowledge and ask me for like how to get through things. Like I was talking to one guy for a while. He was afraid to talk to women. I gave him some tips, and now he's like pumping all chicks. It's great. They're doing a good time. Everything's great. My man. I mean, it's all about having confidence in yourself, and no matter what anybody says to you, you just do what the fuck you feel like it. And if the conviction is in your voice, and you've learned from some of the best like manipulators in the world, and some of the best liars in the world, and some of the best things. So I take a little bit of morsel from like a lot of different people and try to put it into my own kind of act. So it's like when I go on there, most of the time I'm dropping facts. People have no idea what I'm talking about. They'll have to Google it and be like, man, that motherfucker's right. It doesn't sound like he is, but he is. Because then it's Googleable, checkable facts that are right. That's the crazy part about it. So I'm sitting there, I'm just telling the truth. And people are like, he's a liar. He's this, that, and the other thing. Nah, man, I drop facts. That's it, period.
Nice. So going around the table again, we got Nicky the Arsenal Sullivan, that's myself. Devin the Dark Saber Hawley over here, and we got we're Death Watch. We got Mandalorian stuff. This is the way. We got our helmets. That's kind of our gimmick. And,
that's great.
We do like these fan leagues, and we're Team Death Watch in that. And Grant Gregory's down there with what I hope is
with
his child.
Yeah,
you found
Baby Gucci, meet Baby Gucci.
Cool.
She got out and everything. She's pimping it.
Whatever it takes, dude. Whatever it takes.
Sounds like an expensive baby.
I wish I had my kids here right now. Damn.
Good tax write-off.
And Matt Beer, how you doing tonight?
I'm still struggling without basketball, baseball. We could be in NBA playoffs right now.
Hey, go watch wrestling.
That's true.
I'm feeling it.
It's a struggle.
Package right before they canceled the NBA and baseball season. So as soon as I got that TV package, as soon as that bill hit, they're like, no NBA, no baseball.
Yeah, I mean, it's devastating. It's devastating to me too, man. I like to watch the Mets all day long. You know that. And it's devastating. Yeah, they're a good team too. It's devastating to the world as a whole to sit back and not watch sports and any kind of sport, whether it's baseball, football, basketball. People can't go to bars. People can't hang out and interact with people on a consistent basis. And it's tough for people, man. It's tough for shut-ins. But I know people their lives just keep beating because they didn't come out of the house anyway. So it was what it was. So now everybody, they're sitting there crying. They're like, oh, I'm going to have to stay in the house. They're like, yeah, you weren't going out of the house anyway, motherfucker. So it was what it was.
Right. And I mean, I don't watch every baseball game that comes on, but it's always nice to, sit down one afternoon, get something to drink and then just watch the game.
Totally. But that's the one. It's escapism, and listen, I was preparing myself for jail for a long time anyway, just in case. So this is like sort of what it is anyway.
Right.
So
I've been telling everybody I'm in house arrest. It's just like my old days on house arrest. That's what it is.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it comes down to. It's just it's a little longer than I thought it would be. But I mean,
it's house arrest, and you get to watch more curling
because these motherfuckers they just don't get it. Like, you come out of the house.
That's why I work out in my house.
I've been social distancing for 12 years now.
Yeah, there you go. Yes. So sometimes it's nothing new to anybody,
Right.
I just miss going to places and dropping knowledge on.
Come here, you dirty dog.
Now I gotta just do it on Streamlabs.
Yeah, and I mean,
speaking of kids, mine had to come out here.
Oh man.
Oh, Alan has children.
They got kids out there.
The children found me. Only 2.
Oh,
that's
everybody. I love how everybody has kids on this chat, mostly except for Nicky, Matt. We don't know if Bobby has any.
Devin doesn't have any kids, as far as we know.
I don't even know
out there.
Okay, let's be fair. Let's be fair. Bobby has kids. He just doesn't know about them yet.
I know of, dude.
Yeah, that's the thing. He doesn't know about them.
Yeah.
So have you ever actually been on a set of a Drake video, or was that one of those made-up stories?
No, that's 100% the truth. I have pictures.
100% true. Were you on that Jared Leto video where he did the purple Lamborghini video? Were you there that day?
I don't even remember, man. I was just too. I I was too mixed up in the chicks there. I mean,
I feel like that's the day that you would be on set for like a video like that.
I've been on a lot of different Drake things and a lot of different a lot of rap videos because all my buddies do the rap videos, you know, and they production design these things. So sometimes I wasn't even working, I would just show up, and they'd be like, and people would be like, "Who are you?" I'd be like, "I'm talent, bitch. Don't worry about me."
Talent.
How close are you with Sylvester Stallone?
But like I said, I supply like the walkie-talkies to sets as well. So when they hire, when they take my walkies, when I jump on my walkies, I take on set and then just walk around like and eat all the food and talk to all the chicks, just crush life, you know.
I wish I had that.
If you walk around with a board on a set, no one's going to bother you.
Confidence is something that. It's not really hard. It's not really easy to acquire. I think you got to come out of your mom's womb with it. Like when I was born, like I said, the doctor was like, "I'm done. I'm finished. I just delivered this guy. I'm going to retire." He's like, "I'm not going to get any better than this." So, plus they crushed down the hospital that I lived in. I mean, that I was born in. I don't even know it exists anymore, unfortunately. But probably better off, you know. They were like, let's take this hospital out of business. This guy, forget about it.
Once they deliver greatness, it's hard to go back.
That's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is. The doctor's like, I retire. I'm out.
I've been telling people for that for years. Might as well crush all my old shit.
Absolutely. That's the way I look at it. You know, when I look at old things that I've done, and people tell me what I've done, I'm like, damn, I don't even know what I was doing back then. But yeah, it happens. You know, especially if they catch me on one. There was times when I would come on the Schmoedown show and they'd see the look in my eyes and be like, damn, we just let this motherfucker talk and just rock it because he's on one today. So
I wish you could have been at the reunion show. That would have been amazing.
Good, but
I still gotta watch that.
Oh man, if you want a real dose of what I was doing back in the day, just look at the old Toad Hop Schmoedown shows when I would just come on. Yeah, there was no restrictions. That was the thing.
Exactly. That you could be yourself. You were free to be what you wanted to do.
Yes, on a consistent basis.
My favorite was before demonetization.
Him and Tiffany Smith.
Tiffany Smith.
Oh, you and Tiffany, that was my favorite shit.
Tiffany Smith.
You and Tiffany, man.
Yeah, she was the best.
That's how I would
have you talked to her lately?
That situation.
I would just undress her with my eyes, and then
have you spoken with her recently?
Not in that sense.
She was not ready at first. When she first met me, she's like, "Who is this guy?" And most of the girls were like, "I don't even know who this person is." And then it would just, you know, they would just get it. They would feel the electricity in the air, and then they just ran with it, which they should have, obviously. You know
who I wanted. I wanted you to interact more with Mova. That's who I wanted you to get with.
Oh man,
Mova was the one.
Her and Sinead. They were.
Sinead.
They were definitely not ready for me because one day I was talking about glory holes, and they were like, "What's that?" They didn't even know what that was. And I was like, oh, you guys got a lot to learn.
Hell yeah!
Cover your ears, Nicky.
And then the after shows that we did. You guys see the after shows?
Oh yeah, the after shows were ridiculous.
Wow, I was the most sane one in there. That was a crazy thing.
Yeah, you were.
These people can't handle it
because they can't handle the liquor. Exactly. You're the only one who could do it.
I could sit there and drink a half a bottle of vodka and still be cognizant. They start drinking a couple of shots and stuff like that. Most of those chicks are a wrap. That's why they never want to play those things again. That's why they won't do it again because they can't match wits with me when it comes to that. Forget about it.
Yeah, people are yelling and fighting with each other. It was like, okay.
Oh yeah, the only one who wasn't fighting was me.
Yep.
So I was like, man, look, I'm the most sane. Ken Knapsack always says it. Ken Knapsack always
Nicky, you need to start taking note.
So yeah, that's everybody. Everybody should take note when I was on those kind of shows.
That's saying a lot.
Yeah, that shit was wild.
Yeah,
and I come in hot.
Right. You and Ken in the same room are always fun. It's always ridiculous. When you guys start talking about baseball and shit, that's great.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You just throw facts back and forth, left and right.
Yeah. Anybody who takes me for a stupid man, they have another thing coming. That's for sure.
You Ken and Makuga is a party waiting to happen.
Oh man, Makuga's great. I mean, you know, he's slowed down a little bit. You know, he's got to stay with his. You know, he's got the show. He's got this.
He's got his show.
Yeah. He can't go bananas. I mean, that's the thing. It's like, you know, if I always take it like this, it's the Archie Bunker kind of angle of it all. It's selective ignorance. Selective ignorance will bury you. There's no you can't do that. You can't. If you want to be ignorant all the time. Just there's no flip flopping. Now Archie, it's just you're flip flopping constantly.
Like an umpire in baseball. Be consistent. I don't care what your strike zone is, as long as it's consistent the whole game.
100%. Great analogy. And that's the way it should be. And a lot of people don't like to do that. They adhere to what they think their audience is. And I know what my audience is, and the people who listen to me understand what it is as well. So most of those guys, they adhere to it. No offense to them. They're really nice people, and most of them are really cool. I don't really spend too much time hanging with them outside of it. But if they want to hang, I'm cool with that too. So,
And I think a good thing about, the whole Collider thing happening, everybody going off to do their own channels is now they don't have to hold back. Like they, you can go on SEN and pretty much promote it like Little Bobby and the Juice however you want to. There's no holding back anymore because it's not, it's not like one big company or corporation running it. Now it's just like, look, people are going to watch, they're going to listen. You don't have to worry about losing money or getting your show cut. You can just
exactly.
So I think that's a good thing out of it.
Right.
Yeah, and that's one thing we never got to hear really, Gooch, your point of view about the whole Collider thing, because they were all your people. They were all good to you as far as your friends. So we never got your point of view because no one ever had you on to talk specifically about that, and they all were all hush hush about it. So what's the real from the Gucci? What's the real about that whole situation? How do you feel about it?
I think what ultimately happened was this kind of stuff where you don't need big facilities to produce content anymore. Like it's just you could do it anywhere you want. Now Fernandez is a rich man. He's made it big in a couple of different things. He has a lot of people that he's grew up with worth a lot of money. Like we're talking in the millions and heavy millions. So, and he knows a lot of his partners and stuff like that. They're all from Israel. They got tons of cash because everybody in Israel's got money. But the way you look at it is it wasn't sustaining. And I think, no offense to anybody on that channel or whatever, I just don't think it was very. Collider Live was the only thing I watched on that channel. I don't watch Heroes. I don't watch these things. I don't really care about that shit. Now, it was great. The comic books thing with Schnepp and RIP and all these other things. Great stuff. Great stuff. He's a fantastic guy, and we always had a good time. It just wasn't my speed. And then once we went away from once the Schmoedown show ended. The Thursday show, that was kind of rough. And then I saw what these guys were doing, and you're in a big conglomerate. You have to, you say the wrong thing, they're losing sponsors, and there's money involved. And anytime there's money involved, you got to really watch what you say. And it's the truth. What I did, do I think he handled it wrong? Yeah, sure. I mean, most people do, but that's the way business. That's the way business goes. I mean, that's just business. It's business, and a lot of people don't understand how business runs. It wasn't making any money. I think to back Fernandez up on this a little bit is I think he held on to it longer than he probably even needed to. That could have went away 6 months earlier. And I think a lot of those people understood it was going away. They just weren't ready for it. Some of those people are making pretty decent money just for streaming and producing and whatever. It's put it this way, I saw it coming, and I told those guys, I'm like, you better start looking for another job.
I mean,
well, I think you're right. I think Christian kind of proved, look, we don't really need all the big, Fernandez back stuff. He did it on his own, went out on his own. So you do it.
Yeah, and look what he's doing. He's crushing it over there.
Yeah,
he has good equipment, good internet, good people. Good people is the most important part.
Yeah,
Christian had good people from the start. You have good people with Little Bobby and the Juice. I mean, we got good people here at TMG.
Yeah, no, of course, and I'm happy to be on here, man. It's pretty.
I'm not one of them.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Because I mean, in order to, you don't like everybody said, you don't need to have millions of dollars to succeed with this stuff. All you need is to be good on camera, have a good personality.
Yep.
Don't be a bad person. And
I think it's.
Well, I mean, sometimes you'd be a bad person, but then you do.
I mean, everybody's a bad person every once in a while.
Right.
As long as you don't hurt, as long as you're not physically hurting anybody. Yeah. I mean, look, some people don't like to hear the truth, and that's when people get on your back and things like that. It's what, like I said, with Collider, I just didn't find anything really that interesting.
Right.
And the way I see it, I mean, you can only talk about movies for so long. And I definitely saw an ending to that. But I think this is the new wave of the generation of the way it goes with, with Christian and the way he started his thing. I mean, obviously no one's super confident of that. You can start your own channel and actually do well with it. I mean, look at Dan Merle now, Screen Junkies is obviously, I would venture to say after something like this, it might just bury him. So, Screen Junkies as a whole, all big conglomerates will go down the drain. Look at BuzzFeed and, all these other crazy things.
All those, they're dropping. Yeah. Yep.
It's just, you don't.
Correct. There's another one that went.
Right. Yep. You basically what you can do. It was a good fad. It worked. It was good while it lasted. That's what people really don't understand. When things are good, you got to take it, milk it for what it's worth, and then when you see another opportunity, jump out and do something different and start your own stuff. And that's what people are doing, And that's any kind of business, not just a movie business.
It's just evolved into like Patreon based content where you have like 20 top tier donors like paying the bills of these people, and then everybody else just kind of like chipping in $1 where they can.
Sure.
And that's way more profitable than it was before because like even a guy like Campia always said there's no money in YouTube. The money isn't in YouTube. The money is
definitely not.
The community and the jobs that you get from doing YouTube. That's why I haven't bothered like monetizing any videos that I have. Once I have like a followership that's loyal, then I'll start Patreon, and then if they want to pay for like microphones and stuff, they can. But I just do this sort of thing. It's fun. It gives me something to do on Saturday night.
I agree with you. I totally, I 100% agree with you. I think that's what it comes down to. I've always thought about starting stuff. I just don't have enough time to sit back and really get it right. Now, what I wanted to do, and I probably will do eventually, once I get things straightened out. I mean, because I was making a hell of a lot more money doing my own thing, which is like where I didn't have to really, I just show up on a couple of shows here and there, get paid a little bit. But I had my own businesses, real businesses outside of this kind of stuff, which was like, it takes up a lot of time. And that's when, I wasn't able to come half those times because then, you're sitting there working on 12, 14-hour set days and you're making a ton of money. Like, I'm going to be like, Christian, whoever would be like, hey, we want to come on. Do we need you on the show today? I'm like, well, you're going to pay me $500 today? I mean, 'cause that's what I'm making. It's like, and they're like, no, we can't. And I'm like, well, then I can't come on. I go, when I'm available 100%, I'll be there. But I mean, money talks and fucking bullshit walks. Yeah. So,
do you still do any stuff with Shotgun Honeymoon?
Oh, you know him?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, we were really good friends for a really long time. I did a couple of videos for him, when I was directing videos and other things like that. Good friend of mine. We still talk, but he's moved out of the music space for the most part. He does a lot of different things like sound baths and all kind of spiritual stuff that I'm not really kind of into,
I saw the one where music video where you were like helping him move. You were like delivery man or something like that.
Oh yeah. I've been known to show up I've been known to act here and there, but no, we did some really cool stuff. He's a great guy. Haven't seen him in a bit, obviously, with this pandemic and just being busy, and but he used to be one of the head guys at Warner Brother Records for a long time, and we would just go and we would piggyback and go wherever we wanted to shows for free and eat dinners and go to Sundance and just really, really cool stuff. I mean, Gucci, likes to get into predicaments where money keeps going south in my pocket rather than north, So as long as you're keeping money in your pocket and using other people's dime, not his, but like a big conglomerate, then you spend all the money you want and you have a good time while doing it. And then you wound up home with more money in your pocket than you started with.
So are we gonna get to see a sequel to A Poor Kid's Guide to Its Success at all? Or?
No. That was something that we did for very little money. It wasn't for everybody. I mean, I was just fresh out of film school at that point. We had like $4,000. We had like $4,000 and filmed the movie, which was pretty cool. And it's a great experience. And it taught me a lot. It taught me mostly what not to do, And sometimes you got to be out there. I'm a firm believer. I mean, not only in trial and error, But but that's sort of what it comes down to. I am a firm believer in trial and error. So it's like when you get to a point where it's like the only way I like learning from mistakes is actively doing it, not hearing from other people. Like if I'm going to fail at something, I'm not going to tell somebody else is not going to be like, hey, Tom, don't do this, because you'll fail at it. No, I want to make sure for myself that if I do fail at it, then I did it on my own accord, Right. That's the way I look at it. Most people are afraid to take a shot, man. So
you got to take the shot.
I am definitely not afraid to take a shot.
Well, I mean, the first thing I can remember seeing you in, and it was post early stuff, was a little TV comedy movie called Upgrade.
One of the other heads here.
Yeah, Upgrade for sure. That was great. That was the show I sold to FX with my partner who writes Little Bobby and the Juice with me. We went in there. I wrote a script that this is the movie I want to do is this movie called Mel. Eventually, it's about this little fat kid in high school who started to realize that he wasn't the best looking guy, and he didn't have the most friends and things like that. But what he knew what he can do is take these people. He would manipulate them, and once he figured out what his gift of gab was, then he became the king of the school. So when I wrote that, I think my partner wrote that. And it sat on the shelves for like 5 years because everybody's like, this is the craziest thing I've ever read. Nobody wants to hear this. Nobody wants to see this. I'm like, all right, cool. Put it on the shelf for about 5 years, right? Then we were writing some other things, and we were trying to write bigger stuff and like trying to adhere to the powers that be. But then we just kept going back to that. We're like, this is the best thing. It was the best thing I ever wrote, no question. And put it back out there. A couple of managers read it. And they were like, this is the best thing I've ever read. But then we were like, well, you read it 5 years ago and said it was junk. He's like, I don't remember that. I'm like, all right, fine. So next thing you know, we were signed by major agencies and all kinds of stuff. And then next thing you know, we were in meetings at DreamWorks and all kinds of other things for like a 6-month dog and pony show. But then it was, we were able to sit back and sell a TV show to FX, and they paid us a decent amount of money. But they didn't pick it up because they picked up like Wilford and like one other show that year. They only picked up 2 shows, and ours weren't one of them. They bought like 10 shows that year. And, we filmed the pilot ourselves just for shits and giggles. And most people liked it. It just wasn't, once again, it was the trial and error of it all. There was a lot of things we could have done differently. But like I said, it's a live and learn process. And it only cost us a couple of $1,000. We had a lot of friends at the time,
Nice.
So it wasn't really that big of a deal.
Lefty was definitely a unique character, so...
Oh yeah, I mean that's the thing. I had 8 episodes written of that as well, and I was telling FX, I'm like, if you let this go past, wait till you see these next couple of episodes. So what I did was, with the upgrade of the 8 episodes we had there, was morsel them in and kind of like add some of that dialogue into Bobby and the Juice, because it would be like the Lefty and Namir character, and it would just be now it's Bobby and the Juice, because it was always like Lefty's character is Bobby. I mean, that's the way it works, So and now Bobby just likes to do what he likes to do, and now with Donald's, you pretty much can say and do whatever you want.
Whatever you want.
Yeah, and you can do it for a hell of a lot cheaper instead of hiring actors and just put some backdrops in the back and knock it out. But once again, you have to have the material. Anybody can sit back and have $2 on a screen and talk some fucking bullshit. But I mean, if it's a coherent story and it makes sense, and there's a really good artistic approach to it, that's the kind of stuff we were doing with Bobby and the Juice. And I really, really dig the first season of that. And, the second season is going to really transcend. If you guys like the show in the first season, you definitely like the second one for sure.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to that more than most everything else.
Thank you.
Just waiting for it, baby.
Oh, it's
love
coming.
That shit.
It's coming. The first episode is called Service Dummy.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and then there's like the dildo murder. There's
my god!
So
can't wait.
I want to know how you felt when Christian came.
Go ahead.
How you felt when Christian
baby
came? What?
the baby crying.
The baby crying.
Yeah.
I think he disappeared again.
Yeah,
well, how did you
Matt will disappear probably 20 times in the screen.
When Christian what?
when Christian came. I mean, he was cut off after that.
So we don't know what the fuck's going on.
All I heard. How did you feel when Christian came? I mean, that sounds like
it was fun. We were in Vegas.
That I believe.
Yeah,
that I believe.
We were in Vegas. Yeah, we've done some wild shit over there.
Was this in 2006 by chance?
Probably.
Okay. I thought so.
Last year.
Well, when you say when Christian came on the show.
Oh, came on the show. Maybe that's what he was talking about.
Maybe that's what he's talking about when Christian agreed to do a voice or something that came on.
Well, Christian, you know what? He agreed to do the voice because he loved Carl, you know.
Yeah.
And I was like, look, Carl's got an Uncle Lenny. I think he'd be perfect for it. Because when I found the Carl doll at the Rose Bowl flea market, you know,
that's awesome.
As I write the show, I think about characters in my head and I just put them there. And I'm like, all right, man, where am I going to find like a big fat chick? I mean, there's no dolls like that, you know, or where am I going to find like this thing? Where am I going to find this kind of looking person? You know, because it's, you know, there's only so many dolls you can buy or whether I was starting to make them and painting their faces and doing some other weird shit. But I was walking in the Rose Bowl flea market.
That's funny.
And there's a couple of it's a once a month thing that happens in Los Angeles, and it's like a big vintage convention thing outside all around the Rose Bowl, and they have vintage and they have clothing and antiques and whatever. But there's also like baseball cards, but then there's also like dolls and like you can find really old cool shit. So I'm walking past. And it was almost like the sun was like shining on the doll. And I go, what the fuck is that? So I went over there and I'm like, oh my God. So I bought like the whole family of it. I'm like, I want everything you got here. And the lady, it was a Mexican lady. I'm like, where did you get this? She's like, I have no idea. I'm like, all right, cool. How much you want for it? She's like, give me 50.
Documentary that people want.
Yeah, exactly. She's like, give me 50. She's like, give me $50. I was like, I'll give you.
King.
I gave her 100.
Tiger King, man.
I gave her 100.
Nice.
Fuck
you gave her 100 for
a lot of
people on your show.
Yeah. Well, not just Carl.
Okay.
There was was all kinds of clothing and all kinds of other dolls that I went. I mean, I struck it rich over there, to be honest with you.
Nice.
Was that what you were going to ask, Maddie?
No, actually, what I was going to ask was, sorry, I'm fighting with StreamYards right now. They're having technical issues. How did you feel when Christian came to you and said, we're going to bring the mask back?
Oh, with the guy thing?
Yes.
Yeah.
Look, I mean,
because that was a big thing.
It was.
The kid went bananas. My kid went absolutely bananas because, like, after Spectacular, you guys, inviting him to come down with you and everything.
Yeah, that was great.
I have a screenshot. But just the fact that we went back and started at season 1 because he wasn't old enough to really remember it. Right. And then when Finstock, the mask came back, he was just tickled shit. So he wanted to know how you felt about having the mask come back.
Look, the mask is, something that, like I said, when the people first saw me, that was the persona, and most people had no idea who I was. Even Ellis and Ken, Makuga, I didn't know any of those guys. The only person I knew was Christian. So they're like, who the fuck is this nut job? Whatever. And they saw me around here and there, but I don't really talk to guys in bars that much, so I really wasn't talking to them. So what had happened was, the mask was there, and we were going to do big things with it until this, the stuff hit everything, all this Me Too and all this other, cockamamie bullshit that takes away people's revenue streams and their
livelihoods.
Their the livelihoods and personas. So he's like, look, we got to get rid of the mask. I'm like, well, we got to do it in a way where it would be cool, and whatever Burnett did what he needed to do with it. But I think this is the time that, and you're seeing culture shift now, where I think the mask is something that needs to be, worn again.
Yep.
And I can sit back and do, I'll be Finstock sometimes and they'll stay Gucci. But I mean, the thing is, it's like, it really doesn't make a difference if I have a mask on or not. I mean, or whoever I am or whoever I'm playing, it'd always be the same version of the person. But when the mask comes on, it's almost like Jim Carrey, You put it on in a mask and you're like, I just turn into I just turn into like a sexual crazy deviant. So hopefully that really doesn't happen because I don't think they want that. But I mean, I had stories with that mask that, I mean, shit. I've had to get it dry cleaned like numerous amounts of times. Because I was wearing it at a Halloween, and like I would go to these big Halloween parties. Next thing you know, like 40 people have it on, like all chicks. Obviously, I would never let a dude wear it. Although I did let that like Down syndrome guy wear it on the counter. But anyway, so what I was saying was, and Draco wore it the one time. That was one of the dry cleaners. But anyway,
no, that was that was the night that Makuga beat the man known as Finstock.
That's correct. That was a great match.
But that
was a great match.
We're doing a commentary on it. Me and Makuga are doing a commentary.
Oh, hell yeah. Nice.
Yeah,
it's
going to be
ESPN music like for the 30 for 30.
Right. They have, they should, I mean, look, the JTE's 30 for 30 and the Roku ones are really good, but they really want one. Just let me, they should follow me around for a little bit and bring out the old archives and see what they can really do, because it's like the Meet the Schmoes when me and JTE did it. That shit was wild.
That was wild. Hey, I got to jump out of here, Bobby, but it's a pleasure meeting you, sir.
For sure.
If you're ever out in Hawaii, man, look me up. I'll hook you up. I'll give you the hookup. So I got lots of shit out of here. So
I might take that one. I was in Maui not too long ago.
Oh, that's the spot. I'm over in Honolulu and Oahu. So
ooh, I like that area.
It's fantastic. Oh yeah, definitely. And I used to work with all of them.
Oh, nice. Good for you.
I was their substance abuse counselor. I used to work with all of them, so I know them all.
Dope. Here's the way I look at it.
Greatest vacation ever. Bobby, Chris, and Alan.
Oh my
God.
That's
it.
Greatest vacation ever.
We crushed that. There's always ways to look at it. And before you leave, here's what I'll say to you. It's always, I never want to be the guy who initiates the calls to the hookers, but I always want to hang around with the guy who does. You know what I mean?
We need to talk off air about this because I don't know how that works.
I don't want to
make
a call.
Go.
I just want to be involved.
Got you.
Don't let your wife hear that, Alan.
Don't worry.
Yeah, she's
all right.
Tell me.
Look, I'll bet. Of course.
All right, buddy.
All right, Gooch.
All right, buddy.
Aloha, guy.
I'll see you.
All soon,
all right, brother.
While I have you here, my lady called.
Go ahead. I'm listening.
I had to drop out. My lady called, and when my lady calls, I have to answer.
Fair enough.
Yes, I have a girlfriend, Nikki. So question for you, obviously, we all know you love Stallone. I mean, it's kind of obvious. You all love Stallone.
Correct.
I haven't heard your opinion on Rambo Last Blood, and we know you love Rambo. But so basically, give us honestly, with me, I love the same kind of thing. That's why I connect so well with you personally.
Right.
It's just because I love, and that's what I want to do.
Right.
Obviously, for me, it was Matt Beer, who's his friend, by the way. We'll clarify this. For me, it was The Rock, and it's still everyone thinks I'm obsessed with The Rock, and I love The Rock, but I love Stallone and Schwarzenegger too. What made you love Stallone yourself, and made you a fan of Stallone? For me, Rocky made me lose 200 pounds because I was 400 pounds, and now I'm like 275.
Damn, you're 400?
And working out every day. What made Rocky? Yeah. And now I'm 275, and I'm 6'7".
You're 6'7"?
6'6".
Oh shit, dude! Oh yeah, that's a Samoan. That's a Samoan in you. That's crazy. That's crazy.
So obviously, we want to know how you got your love for Stallone, and what are your thoughts on Rambo Last Blood? Because a lot of us here loved it. Like I loved it, but it did divide a lot of the true hardcore Rambo fans too.
Truth. I loved it too. I thought it was great. I mean, anytime you see Stallone kicking ass, it's fucking fantastic. There's no question about that. To be that old and still do stuff like that and still make it work is great. I thought it was, look, First Blood's one of my favorite movies of all time. And R.I.P. Brian Dennehy the other day as
First
well.
Blood
who was First
Blood Part 2 is one of my favorites too.
Unbelievable movie. Now, like I said, a long time ago, Stallone wanted to buy that movie off the company because he thought it was going to ruin his career. And they showed it. They had a screening. I think it was overseas in like London, and people were like, "This is fucking fantastic." And Stallone, I don't like to doubt him, but he was wrong on that. He didn't think the movie was good at all. He thought it was dark. He thought it was too dark. You couldn't see anything. He didn't know what was going on. and he thought it was going to really end his career. Because if you look at Stallone, he was struggling. The only thing that was going good with the box office was Rocky movies. Everything else he was in was tanking hard. And he was like, dude, am I just this guy? Yeah, he's like, am I this guy, this, that, and the other thing. So once he did Rambo in 82, that everything else he did would touch, it was gold. And then he did another couple of Rockies here and there, and that was it. So, that, you know, watching Rambo Last Blood, it's a nostalgia thing. And still to this day, the last 2 movies I've been in, I don't go to that many, but anytime I go to Rambo movies, it's the only movies where people actually sit there and clap and stand up and be like, yeah, motherfucker, like stuff like that. They see that kind of stuff. So that's the kind of stuff they that works, and it made money. And so, you know, the Rambo, the other one when they were in fucking Belize or whatever the hell they were.
Rambo 4, they were in Bolivia.
Right. Yeah. Fantastic film. This one is a little different. I mean, obviously, you know, the
story really impressed me.
Yeah, I thought it was great. I thought it was really
like
cool.
Unforgiven,
a
little bit.
I didn't think the chick was gonna die. I was like, damn, that little girl's died. That little girl's dead. Yeah, it was hardcore, man. Like it was rough. It was rough. I was like, damn, this is pretty good.
Matt G, now you put spoilers.
Because I mean, we were all waiting for Rambo to save the day, and then it's like he doesn't. He
I was just fucking listening.
Yeah.
You need to came up with Rocky in that movie to be able to do it. I reckon.
He got his ass
and the actress was great too.
She was good.
But it's kind of like it's the same thing for me. And my favorite film, like I love Stallone. I love Rocky. Like I have the Rocky poster, but my favorite film is Terminator 2. And I'm a massive Terminator fan.
That is fantastic film.
Yeah, and I saw this Terminator Dark Fate, and it did not do well at all at the box office. It lost money.
No, definitely did.
And I loved it. Like I was a huge fan of what Burma. Thank you, Subrat.
Burma, that's what it was.
I was a huge fan of the first 2, and then I remember Terminator 3, and it killed me. Still to this day, and I watched it the other day. It's still not good. And Salvation, I wanted.
Oh, it's terrible. That's where the chick was the Terminator, right?
And Genesis is bad, but for me, Dark Fate was everything for me. It's just a shame they're not going to continue that, and I wish they could. But it's the same thing with Rambo. It's the same thing with Terminator. I mean, there's a spoiler I won't get to because Matt hasn't seen it.
Yeah.
That a lot of people who are true core Terminator fans like myself are completely turned off from. For me, I think it works. And that's even what the Rambo writer said. And the Rambo guy who wrote the books hated Last Blood. So I understand that.
David
I just think I just think it's a point where people just have different opinions, and sometimes like I hate Expendables 3, but I thought Expendables 1 should have been that dark movie that I liked what it was.
For sure.
It's just like different opinions comes with these kind of movies,
Oh, of course, especially when Stallone's in there and things like that. I mean, look, these guys had giant hiatuses, you know, where nobody wanted to see them in any movies anymore. Whatever it was, you know, but Stallone has a feel. He has his finger on the pulse. He's like, look, I'm going to disappear for a while and do some DVD movies. You know, there was a time when you didn't hear from Stallone at all. He was just playing golf and smoking cigars with Joe Pesci and all kinds of stuff. So then he's like, now the right time to strike again. Hence when the Rambo came out, and hence when Creed came out. He knows what he's doing now. Escape Plan and other things like that. He knows what he's worth. Trust me. He knows exactly what he's doing at all times. Now to get back to why I love Stallone.
Demolition Man.
No, the first movie I think one of the first movies I ever seen in the theater was Rocky 3. You know, I think my dad took me to the theater. He left to go see a chick, and then I sat in the movie by myself and watched it because that's what he used to do. He'd like take me somewhere and be like, here, just go watch this movie. And you know, if your mom asked where I was, it'd be like right next to you in the theater. I'm like, okay, Dad, you know, whatever. Didn't make a difference. So I didn't really care. I mean, I knew what he was up to, even at an early age. But I watched Rocky 3 in the theaters, and I'm like, this is the best. And then, you know, I didn't even see Rocky 2 and 1 at that point. Obviously, it was 1 in 2 years, whatever, how old I was. You know, so the way you look at it, I was like, man, there's more of these? And then I saw 4, because, I mean, 1 and 2 were out of the theaters, and, you know, you don't really, when you're young, you don't know what
4 is the greatest American film of all time.
It's pretty close. But watching Rocky 3 was always my favorite, and then Rocky 4. And then, Rocky V was terrible, but, whatever. You get to see Stallone on camera playing the iconic role. You're fine with it.
It's got some redemption, though. It
does. It does.
No, it don't. It's awful, bro.
That street fight at the end of the movie was fantastic.
Them running on the beach is like that. For me, that's what I imagine when I imagine Rocky. It's just Apollo Creed and Rocky
never over.
running on the beach. Rocky Creed is always my favorite. Always.
I agree.
Like I told Paul Preston last week, my family, we used to take 2 days and we would binge. We went through 6 VHS tapes of all 5 Rockies. We would start at 1 and watch 5.
Yeah, it's a perfect saga. It's a perfect saga. But getting back to what I was saying, it's like, I always thought 3 and 4 were the best because I never really understood 1 and 2 at first. Like, I loved them. Don't get me wrong, but I was I rated them that way. So, but once I started realizing what they were really worth, by far, Rocky 1 is the best movie possibly of all time. Not just sports movie, just an amazing 5-act play that is just unbelievable. It's unbelievable. The acting, everything is fantastic. The boxing scenes, everything is so. Anybody who says Rocky 1 isn't the best Rocky needs to reevaluate a little bit and understand what was going on and how it started the saga. My thing is 1, 2, 3, 4. It pretty much in order at this point in my life. 4 is great. I mean, look, it's a montage. But when you watch 1, I mean, look, it was up for Best Picture. I mean, it deserved it. Yeah, it won Best Picture. It won Best Picture. I mean, it won
against like some really big movies too.
Yes, it did.
Like
it totally
Taxi Driver, All the President's Man.
It wasn't good production quality too, and it still was able to win.
Yeah, and it's an underdog story. I mean, he hit the nail on the head with it.
Exactly.
I made a boxing film a couple years ago called
story. I mean,
for Stallone and for Rocky.
Oh, 100%.
And for Stairs. Let's be fair. It made Stairs popular.
Yes, it did.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, and eating eggs, raw eggs.
And catching chickens.
I did that once.
And
I did that for like 2
lightning.
weeks straight when I went to go run and I threw up every single time.
Shitting
It's
like
not
the
for
worst thing
everybody.
ever.
It's not for everybody. Let's put it that way.
No,
but yeah,
no.
I mean,
do I still kind of do it? Yeah.
You should have used the 3 seashells.
Yeah. Ultimately, there you go. Ultimately, they screened the movie in LA, right? And for like a bunch of producers and executives and all kinds of things. And everybody left the theater and didn't really say anything. And Stallone was with Irwin Winkler, who I've met, and a bunch of other people, right? And they were like, man, nobody liked it. And then when Stallone went into like the auditorium after it was over with, there was everybody in the theater was just standing there and just clapping for him. They were just mesmerized on how good this film was, and I think that's when he knew that was going to be what it was going to be. And there's so many behind the scenes stories.
Every time I see that film too, I cry.
Oh,
absolutely. Because I relate so much to that guy. Because I feel like that guy every single day of my life. Sometimes, he doesn't feel appreciated, and I feel that way.
You're fucking 25.
I agree with you.
Sorry, I'm 25, but I understand.
That movie will touch a 2-year-old.
It's hard.
Every single day of my 25 years of long life.
In the back of the night.
It's the truth, man. It's the truth.
I'm a 95, baby. What can I say?
It's the truth, man. It's a pretty unbelievable thing that he did with that. And John G. Albertson.
He lived on the street for like while he was writing the movie too. And I made a boxing film, and I had to do it in my cellar. And
dude,
I can understand how hard it is
to be able to eat.
Yeah.
Like,
not even a question about it, dude. Not even a question about it.
The boxing scenes itself were like, holy shit! Because I've made a short film called Legacy, and it's a boxing movie, and I did it in the cellar. Like, and it's the worst to do because it's so hard. And I can't even relate to how to do a boxing scene like that because you got to go in between scenes, and then you got to get the crowd, and it's that whole sequence itself. It's like a dance, and it's extremely like he took real punches too.
Oh,
Did
yeah,
I?
no,
No.
they went.
But
They went.
it's tough.
Yeah, they went in. they were choreographing those boxing scenes for months. That's how hard it is with that kind of stuff to make it look real. And then when you see like the behind the scenes stuff, he's not even hitting the person sometimes, but the way the camera movement was, it was just unprecedented stuff. And all time top 3 favorite movies of all time, if not my first favorite movie.
I mean, it just goes to show art versus equipment. He didn't have a lot of equipment, but he had the art to be able to make it look fantastic. He had all the art for the 5th one, and it didn't look as good as something that was done, but 30-something years in its past.
Yes, of course, absolutely.
I mean, Creed 2 did that well too.
Yeah, they do. I mean, and then you look at, my favorite boxing movies. I mean, look at Raging Bull. They did. Scorsese didn't even know what boxing was, and they filmed it perfectly as well. And you even look at Cinderella Man. Everything was taken from Rocky and the way they did it, which was just
$1 Million Baby too.
Yeah, true. Anything with boxing.
I just watched that for the first time recently.
Huh.
That's hard to watch. I watched it with my parents when I was 12, and that's a really tough movie. What are your other 2 favorites, Tom? Outside of Rocky.
I like Boogie Nights, which I think made me move to Los Angeles.
That just makes so much sense.
Yeah, which made me basically move to Los Angeles. Yeah. I was sitting with 5 guys in Jersey. We went to the movie theater to watch Boogie Nights because I was a fan of Wahlberg and like Burt Reynolds and the whole shebang. And I didn't really know much about P.T. Anderson at that point. And I was the only person. The 2 people walked out, and then the other 3 were like, "Oh, whatever." And I was like, "This is like the best movie I've ever seen." And everybody's like, "You're crazy." I'm like, "I got to get out of here." And that's when it's kind of like they're like out of here, like out of the theater. I'm like, no, out of this area. Like I need to get out of here. And then sure enough, I got out of there.
About Wolf of Wall Street, man.
Yeah, I got out of there. Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
But Boogie Nights, Rocky, Rambo: First Blood, Teen Wolf, clearly.
Wow.
Great movie. Yeah.
I've never seen that actually.
Vendetta against Bobby Finstock.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Watch Teen Wolf, and
I've never seen that actually.
It's a great underdog story. He crushes it.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Yeah.
Michael J. Fox is fantastic in it.
He's great. The original Teen Wolf is absolutely fantastic.
And watch it.
I'm way too young.
I watch Teen Wolf on a daily basis. It's great. It's a fantastic film. They thought the Back to the Future producers paid a ton of money, so because Teen Wolf was supposed to be released first, and they were like, no, don't do that. We have a big movie coming out. Let's do this. They gave them a ton of money to push it back, and they pushed it back. And Back to the Future was Back to the Future, obviously one of my favorite movies of all time.
Yeah.
But
Spielberg helped push it back.
Right, exactly. But when
did Spielberg produce
that came out when. No. They I don't know who did. I forget who did Teen Wolf. Marty something, whatever. But it was a fantastic film. But in hindsight, they probably made a good move on that because Fox was already a giant star. So Teen Wolf won on that immensely. It grossed like $50 million in the fucking box office. It wasn't even it wasn't a failure. It was a great movie. And I still watch it.
And I love the fact that when he starts turning, he goes. Michael J. Fox opens a bathroom door, all freaked out, and his dad's just sitting there as a wolf, just like, "Hey, what's up?"
Michael J. Fox had the same neurologist. Fun fact.
Okay, then.
Oh wow, that's interesting.
I don't know how to say that.
Wow, that's a big story. That's great. But it being that Purple Rain, I like a lot. Things like that.
I actually watched that in the cinema when he died because I was working at an independent cinema at the time, and they show old movies, and I'd never seen that movie, and I go with my mom because my mom was crying like huge because my mom was born in the late 60s, so she had a lot of her teenage life in the 80s.
Sure.
And I remember when Prince died, and I remember when George Michael died. She was really sad. So I go and see Prince. I go see this movie. I'm like, what is this movie? And it's like 11 o'clock at night, and I get out around 2. I have college the next morning, and I'm like, this movie is really good. And
it's great.
It's great. It's terrific. Yeah.
Yeah, it's great. Clarence Williams, the dad. I actually used to drink with him at a place called Craig's. This guy could pound him down, and he was a classically trained pianist. This guy is still a brilliant person. Likes to drink his face off. He's a fantastic individual, and great stories. And I was talking to him about Purple Rain, and he's like, "Oh, that's what everybody remembered me for." But I do a bunch of other stuff. I'm like, "No, everybody knows you did other stuff, but Purple Rain was the opus for you." We got into a little scuffle, but it was good. He's a good guy.
Okay, I've got one for you. What's a backstage story from Schmoedown of you and Kaiser that people won't know? Because I had a friend of mine.
Me and Kaiser, me and Kaiser hang out all the time. You know, I'm gonna let you guys know I only got like 2 minutes left. So, but is that yeah? So, because my phone's on like 4%, my girlfriend's like ringing me off the hook because we have food at the house. But that being sprayed, no, Kaiser is always pays homage to me, and he's always like, hey, this is you paved the way for people like this and people like me, and you could see in some of his antics and some of the way he operates definitely has a little a Gucci flair to it for sure. Mm-hmm. And he's just a great guy. We like to drink and have and party, and he's his dad was a major league umpire, which was really great stories. And Kaiser is a genuine man, and he's good people. I wish I could say that about everybody from the Schmoedown, but
Right. Well, from a personal standpoint, you are definitely one of those special people. You just the way that you guys welcomed the kid in. Like, I don't give a shit about me, but like just the way you guys were like, well, here, like Dan just handed him that. I have a picture somewhere that somebody screenshotted of you standing on stage next to him, and it's just you could see the pure joy in his heart.
Because he's like, where the fuck do you come up with this stuff? I sit back and write this stuff and then come out and I'm like, nah, man, I don't write shit. I just come out on stage and whatever I feel I say, and whatever the moment is and whatever the actions are, just play off other people's misfortunes. And I watch the matches, so I know what their deal is. And I never really, when the Schmoedown first started, there was a lot of people who didn't really know how to take ribbing, and they really didn't know how to shit talk without really really kind of offending somebody, and I think that's a trait that I have where I don't really offend anybody. It's just so ridiculous. People, it's like, I don't even know what the fuck this guy's talking about. And then they just destroy him, Right, exactly. So when you look at it that way, I always thought, like, because some people would be like, hey, your mother, this, and behind stages, like, I don't like the way you fucking said that to me. Never me. But it was always like this, that, and the other thing. A lot of people at each other's throats. But now the way this is going, everybody knows their role and everybody understands what it takes to be, like the Rokas of the world and all these other guys. They're just fantastic on the mic and they do great things. And it's unfortunate that this pandemic happened, because I think this season was shaping up to possibly be one of the best ever. Hopefully we can get back to it very shortly. I just don't know. I just don't know with this thing and how America's operating right now. So it's going to be tough.
I have a question for you, sir, before you do leave. I
got to answer one more, and I got to go.
Yeah. I am very heavy in impressions of Arnold, and I know you're good with Stallone impressions. Is there any way I could do a little Stallone and Sly and Arnold with you?
It'd have to be really quick.
All right. Every time I go into the gym, it's like I'm working out. It's like I'm calming. It's like my pumping in the iron. And it's like everything I know. It's like you over there, Mr. Stallone, and you're trying to be better than me.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I you know what it is? I watch Pumping Iron, and I watch that a lot. It's great. The one black dude, Schwarzenegger's just there hanging out. The one black dude comes in, and he's like, looks like I can beat you this year, Arnold. And he's like, keep looking.
I love it. It's the greatest thing ever.
It's the best. It's he just destroys everybody. But yeah, dude.
That literally made my life. Oh my god.
It's great. But listen, I got to bounce here. Great talking to you guys. Whenever we want to do this again, I'm down. This is fun. Especially in this kind of day and age when there's no excuses. Everybody's available at this point. You know what I mean?
Well, it's funny you bring that up. A week from tomorrow, we're doing a charity stream. Matt's trying to raise some money for Feeding America and getting masks around the world. If you have 10 minutes, you can absolutely join us for that.
Absolutely, hit me up and let me know what's up with that. Let me get let me bounce out of here before I get destroyed.
All right,
more ways than one.
Well, Mr. Tom from here, us at After Dark, we thank you for coming to hang out with us.
Hey, bro, I appreciate it. Anytime I can come through and help out and spread the knowledge that I think needs to be spread. A lot of people need a lot of help right now. There's a lot of people quarantined by themselves. They have they're probably going out of their fucking tits. It's a lot of fucking work, and it's everybody stay sane. I don't like to say stay safe. I say stay sane. and that's or as sane as you possibly can be without going totally fucking crazy.
Right.
Because going crazy is cool to a certain extent,
Yeah.
All right. So, Tom,
All right,
I will
fellas.
check in with you probably tomorrow. So, again, thank you for joining us.
Hey, man, you got it, dude. Everybody be, like I said, stay sane. And everybody keep living that Gucci life because that's what it's really about.
Oh, yeah.
You're the best.
All right, fellas.
All righty then.
Okay.
Did
Thank
that
you again,
really
Tom.
just happen?
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that was Tom Dagnino. That absolutely just happened. This was definitely a stream. Matt, I told you off camera that this could be a hell of a stream, and it obviously was. If everybody's still up to it, we can still keep going. Subrath, if you want, hit the stream button and jump in if you want.
Yeah.
If not, whatever, punk.
Yeah.
So what's everybody been up to?
Absolutely nothing.
We were watching Lost all day today. Devin had never seen
how
Lost
far did you get into
We were
it?
watching that.
Yeah.
I have to admit, I've never seen Lost before myself.
Don't do it.
It's kind of one of those.
Oh, it's painful.
Subrath, nope.
I'm watching it and I'm happy and I'm like feeling emotional, and then I'm just like,
Nope.
no, it's
God.
like it's not going anywhere good.
Don't be scared.
Right.
Don't be scared.
I'm not gonna
Subrath.
lie.
Come hang out with us.
I've
not
never
gonna
actually
lie.
been on a stream with Subrath before.
I'm not gonna lie. That was probably the best moment of my life. No, I'm
Wow.
serious because I don't know if you were here, Matt, but I told him about my brother, and he was like his biggest fan, and he was like,
Yeah,
I was
I
watching
heard
down
that's
on you and
true.
stuff like that, and it like killed me emotionally. Like I needed to take a
I'm sure
minute
I'm there
to.
with you.
So I'm still kind of emotional about it.
Sorry, Chris.
Yeah. So
Jacob, if you want to join us, just hang out. Just send Nicky or somebody a message, and they'll forward you the stream or whatever.
Yeah.
Because I don't really care to get off right now. The kid's in bed. I actually have a decent setup. I'm actually cooled down for the first time because we couldn't use the AC most of the day because they still were getting it fixed. And it's finally dropping into the 70s here, so it's fucking nice.
Is it doing okay? How are you guys doing with everything?
We're fine.
Okay.
Yeah. The last couple nights were it was a little sweaty, but it wasn't bad.
Yeah.
It snowed last night here.
I'm still doing my Madden thing.
It snowed here on Thursday.
Yeah.
It's like 60 degrees right now.
Right. I'm still doing my Madden thing. To where
are you?
Yeah, I'm having a computer play against each other so I can watch games. No, I'm watching.
I got Rambo.
Play
I got
against
Rambo
each
on
other.
TV right now.
We were playing Star
I
Trek
don't think
Online before we did this.
I don't think you get it though, Chris. I'm not playing Madden. I'm watching Madden. Nice copyright. Yeah. Thank you, Chris. No. So I'm watching. Madden, and I have it set up. It's the year 2029, so we're pretty deep in this thing. It's about to be 2030. The Dolphins have won 4 straight Super Bowls. Madness has ensued.
You know that's a fantasy, buddy.
Oh,
Chris, what did you just say?
I said we all know that's going to be a fantasy.
Matt, you can kick Chris now if you want.
They ain't no Patriots.
You can kick him. That's fine.
Sorry, Matt. Continue. I just
boot
need to smack Chris down.
Now that Tom Brady's gone, Dolphins are going to finish the season better than New England. Guarantee it.
See,
I've been saying.
Yeah, you've been listening to Madden. I've been listening to Frank Caliendo impersonating Madden. So it's essentially the same thing.
Yeah. Hey, it's pretty close. Listen, I would argue you're doing it better. So there's that. And I do.
Yeah, the only thing I know about Madden is he had a game in 1996 on the Sega Mega Drive that I played and I enjoyed. And I don't watch football.
Yeah,
Gridiron, as I call it.
It's not a great game anymore. It hasn't been great for the last 12 years.
My favorite part about it is do something, stop, let's talk about it for a minute, then do something for 10 seconds, let's stop and let's do the same thing. Wait, let's stop. Whoa, why is that guy throwing a flag on the field? What happened?
Only do it for 16
All right, let's go back and
days
talk about it for 40 seconds.
16 days a year.
Yeah,
and they complain about it.
Let's spend 18 hours watching one match.
Okay.
It's only a couple.
So James Woodruff's going to jump in here in a minute.
Uh-oh.
I don't know what that is. What's a James Woodruff?
Right. So I do want to. I know Matt's gone. He'll probably be back in a minute. Great setup, Matt. So I did want to say something. So as people know, the past couple weeks I've been yelling about bats. Bats this, bat that, guy eats the bat, and cause a pandemic. Well, a couple days ago.
Oh.
A couple days ago.
So we got a couple people coming in and out. Look at that, Bob.
Baba! So
in and out.
I'm gonna get into my bat thing, Matt.
No experience with.
I'm gonna get to my bat.
Hold on. Give me just.
Okay.
Hold your fucking bat thing.
I will hold it.
Hold your fucking bat thing.
Matt was just talking about how he either raped or ate a bat, and I'm interested either way.
Well,
it's amazing, man.
Yo, pitches. James Woodruff's about to jump in. He's going to talk about his league, just to kind of promote a league.
Keep me in because I've been kicked out too much. Good.
So, all right, ladies and gentlemen of After Dark, welcome James Woodruff, the Merc.
Hello, James.
Hello.
For the first time ever. How are you?
We can see him.
I'm doing very well. Let me get my thing set up here. Can you hear me good? Hear me?
Yeah, we can hear.
Yeah,
you're good. So we can see are good.
I'm on my
pictures. I'm on my
but we can hear phone, so I apologize.
Oh no, you're James. Where are you from?
Trust me.
Man, the shot good right here.
Yeah, you're good.
You're good.
Here at the show, we completely understand glitch and
Okay.
issues. The whole time with Dagnino just now, I had a goddamn.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh no, this was great. Actually, we had a great conversation with Tom Dagnino. It was great.
It was a good time.
You good?
So tell us about.
Okay. I'm from. I'm from the South. Somebody asked me where I was from.
I got that.
Like what, Peru or like Chile? How far south?
Okay, it's the Elite Fantasy Schmoedown. It's basically something that just Schmoedown. And I thought it'd be really cool to have a fantasy league for it, like football and other sports. And I was like, I wonder if there's anybody that's doing that. And I was like, well, it doesn't matter. I'm going to do it anyway. So I just kind of was like, I'm going to, find other Schmoedown loving people and see about creating one. And so far, it's been pretty good. A little bit of hiccups. And I came up with the point system and trying to take it to the next level. But so far, so good.
Yeah, the Rebel Legion's coming for y'all. Just heads up.
Yeah,
we are coming. But no. So.
Here we go. Yeah.
I mean, we've got. I mean,
I'm in commission mode right now, so.
I mean, we've got Mandalorians on the show, so it's all good. This is the way.
Oh, I got you. I can't wait for Mandalorian season 2. I'm waiting for that. That's gonna be awesome.
I can't wait.
Well, I mean, they already finished shooting.
I mean, if you look closely, we actually have Mandalorian join our show.
Oh, I see that.
How's it going?
This is the way.
Damn right it is. And every time that scrolls across, every time that scrolls across, when that scrolls across the bottom of the screen, they are mandatory to keep the helmet on.
I'm called the American Merc.
We're Death Watch. We're the true heir to the Mandalorian throne, and we'll take it.
Yeah, you can't let no living thing see you, your face.
Now,
hey, James, you gonna take that Star Wars belt at Titan Trivia?
The Star Wars belt? Oh, hell yeah!
Take that for Titan Trivia.
Oh, hell yeah! Yeah, the American Merc's coming for that.
I just want to point out.
I'm studying up.
Chris, I just want to point out in his fantasy league, I hold the Star Wars belt.
Ultimate power.
Actually, I can make that happen if you guys want to face off, you and Graham.
Okay.
Maybe we'll set that up.
You don't have the belt until you beat me in Star Wars. Come on, man. You know that.
No, in his fantasy league, Nikki, that you actually. Oh, James, I'm going to point this out right now. I forgot to message you. Nikki added me to your page.
Okay.
I did.
So yeah. Yeah, he added me to the page.
Thanks for updating me, by the way, James. I've been so busy. I haven't been able to update on matches. Yeah.
That's why I had to stop. I was way too unfocused.
That's all good. It's all good, man.
No, it's good if you're in the Schmoedown. If you're in the Schmoedown and you have like a fantasy league and you can like actually like stay involved in it. It's a great league to be in. My problem is that I can't like my weak point. So I just
right. And to see the good thing is we actually have Schmoedown people as part of the Facebook group Fantasy League, but they're just spectators. But we have Miss Movies, we have Shannon, we have Shandrew, we have Rachel Silverstrini just joined our Facebook group as a spectator, which was awesome.
I saw that, yeah.
Yeah.
We've actually had 2 of those people on our show for the last for the.
Did you get permission from Christian to do that?
Wait, what?
No. I mean, I just said, hey, I've got Fantasy League. I would be honored if you just join and just watch. I mean, just like, spectators at a wrestling match, not participate, but just watch, and so far I'm hoping they like it.
Well,
I know I've talked to Shandrew, and as soon as I get my YouTube channel going up, but as soon as I get my YouTube channel going and start having elite talks, I plan to have Shandrew as a guest, my first guest. So I'm still working on that.
Take it from us. Chandler's a hell of a. We talked with him for almost 3 hours. 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago.
Karate.
Was it 3 weeks ago?
Yeah, because last week was Paul.
Yeah, I've already talked to him, and
it was 3 weeks ago. Yeah, no, Chandler's a hell of a guy.
I've talked to him like 3 times.
Yeah,
he's like cool as hell.
Oh yeah,
he is
great.
cool.
But yeah, he just let him talk. Like the best way, because just starting a channel with interviews, is just let them lead the conversation. Like tonight, we just let Gucci go off. Last week, if you want somewhere to kind of draw off, not to push ours, watch Paul Preston's last week, his takeover. He literally took the entire show over. We just sat back and let him run shit, and it was almost 2 hours of us just laughing our asses off.
Oh, it's a good time.
Yeah. Well, the cool thing about my YouTube show that's gonna be called. The cool thing about my YouTube is I'm actually get questions from the Schmoedown fans and ask them those questions.
Ooh, nice.
Very cool.
So it's just like I'm like, here's a question. This is from so and so, and they answer.
Yeah, and what you can do too.
So it's like me asking for the fans.
Right on. That's definitely an interesting idea. Like the way our show is run, and once you get your channel up and running, we'll gladly have you back so you can, you can promote your show with us. Is that we just let them lead the conversation. It was literally,
that's the first time I've ever done something like this.
Well, Matt and I. This is the reboot of After Dark. The original one was just the panel of us going just balls to the wall, hardcore, just ape shit crazy, and it really didn't work.
Right.
But Matt and I talked it out, and we decided that making it more of an interview show. And we have several topics, and we just go from there. One of the main questions tonight was we let Tom explain to us why Rocky has influenced him so much.
Wow. Okay. I wish I would have. Damn, I should have seen that. That would have been interesting.
And we had my Arnold impression too for him, and he liked it.
Yeah, it's at the beginning of this video. It'll be at the beginning of this video.
Let me hear it. Let me hear it.
Yeah.
You have to go back and watch.
Boy. Okay, hold on one second.
Yeah, you done said something. I gotta hear it now.
Kill Arnold with a booba.
Right.
But no, just
first off, before I do that, I do want to say, Matt, also for you and James, if you guys are up for it, June 3rd, we're gonna have our first Star Wars match. I'm gonna say fuck it. Let's just have James versus Matt.
Which match?
That's a kickoff.
I'll do it, bro.
Hard pass. I would rather have Jacob. Jacob's my Star Wars guy.
Oh. Well, let me tell you, I've seen every movie since 1977, so I'm not no brushover. How about triple threat? You want to do triple threat?
Chris.
That's a hard pass.
I'll do a triple threat.
Jacob West, James Merck.
That's a hard pass for me.
There you go.
I don't compete in Star Wars because I would rather stick to Intergeekdom and singles and teams myself. It's the way. Because goddamn right.
Okay.
I stick to.
All right, he wanted to hear my impression.
It's okay.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead, Matt. I'm sorry.
Oh, good for you.
I was asking which Matt you were talking about originally.
Matt Graham. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt.
That's a hard pass. Go ahead, Icon. That's a hard pass.
Okay. All right. So I have a little baby weight. This is like 2 pounds. I just want to do this as an actor method. Every time I work out, it's like I'm coming. And it's like you work out and you get the pump right here. It's like you're coming. And it's like you're about to work out and you're with a woman. It's like you're having sex and it's like you're coming. And it's like I'm the Terminator. And I whoop ass.
Wow.
And I just talked to Tom Dagnino. My boy Chris just talked to Tom Dagnino. And he fucking had a cum shit all over his pants. And he doesn't know how to handle it. And it's like, oh my God. I'm about to work out and I'm about to come with mine.
I feel like after that one, I need another drink.
Wow.
I might have went a little overboard, but.
I think really? I'm about to smoke a cigarette now.
That took me 5 years to learn how to do it.
No,
that's for you, James.
I'd say if I do.
If we're going to talk impressions,
if I do any impression, it has to be. I can do a good Forrest Gump. I can do a good Forrest Gump.
Go ahead.
You do your Forrest Gump.
Okay, hold on. I gotta get in. Okay, here we go. Forrest Gump.
Because you're from Mississippi.
Okay, I'm gonna do my Forrest Gump now. I'm in Alabama, not Mississippi.
James, what's that?
Jenny, you're a slut. I hate your guts.
Forrest loved Jenny.
You just do real slow.
Nikki.
I tap into my Mississippi roots and it goes out.
Nikki, are you up to
Jenny, I don't like it when you do that.
Jenny.
Lieutenant Dan, you got nugs for legs. Jenny.
This would be bonus.
Jenny, you like the apple pie? Yeah.
That's what she said. That was hot.
Thank you. No.
What am I up for?
But yeah, it's okay. Yeah, just give me somebody for a Star Wars match, and I'm there. That's all. Okay. That's all I'm saying.
Wait. You can't do this. You don't have healthcare. You can't do your impression. If you don't have healthcare, you can't do your impression. I had to drop out of the race. The coronavirus everywhere. They don't have healthcare. We don't have respirators. We need healthcare in this country. Jaja, what do you think about healthcare? Mr. Jaja, Mr. Yohama 7. Mr. give you all the healthcare you need. It is.
Oh, Jesus.
I'll tell you, Jaja Binks, you better shut your mouth before I whoop it.
No. Mr. propose the research of healthcare to the Supreme Chancellor. I know what you're saying, Jar
Jar, you need to be quiet here, dude. Jar Jar, you need to be quiet. I'm going to. Yeah. Look, it sounds like you've been smoking a lot of things, Jar Jar. Okay, that's enough of the enough.
my face.
Oh Lord.
Calm down, Jar Jar Abrams.
I think Joe has gone off the deep now.
Mr. always off the deep.
Ooh.
Underwater. Mr. watching Clone Wars. Today, Mr. go to Mount Kala. We dive into the water. And the Akbar is there. Mr. gives Supreme Chancellor. I don't know. That's the best I got. Maddie wanted it.
So,
I need a script. I'm better with the script.
I don't know where to go from here now.
Well, I was thinking about if we just calling it a night because nobody's watching anymore.
And Devin's falling asleep.
And Devin's tired. So all right, let's go around the circle.
Later.
Well, hey,
because
thank you for letting me on here. I'll come on next time.
No
earlier.
James, where can people find you online?
Just go to Facebook and look up groups, and it's Elite Fantasy Schmoedown. And on YouTube, the channel is called Elite Rundown.
All right.
So yeah, we just had on the in the league. We just had an Inner Geekdom champion crown. So
yep, very cool. Mr. Comic Book Lad, where can people find you?
Yep.
You can find me anywhere where there's good content going on. I'm either playing trivia, playing debates, watching it, you name it. We've got our 50-50 league coming up. So everyone jump in there. It's essentially a trivia-based league where you've got one of two answers. So 50-50. Try your luck out in it, see how good you go. If not, you can see me going over in this gentleman's league, kicking ass with that gentleman up there, and taking the tag team titles, and also taking the IG title from that guy. I've already beaten that guy, and that guy over there doesn't want to play me in anything. So apart from that, we're all good.
This guy right here wants to play you.
Oh shit! Oh shit!
No,
so we'll go to the guy down. So we'll go to the guy down below me, Mr. Icon. Where can people find you online?
Stop eating, Chris, for Christ's sake.
Yeah. Try really hard not to bite.
Chris, quit swallowing meat.
That's what she said.
You guys can find me at Titan Mania, Titan Trivia. Oh, we have Titan Mania coming up. 2.5 weeks away. And we recorded some of the matches today. Everybody you see on this panel has a match. Like, can I just stop and say that for a second? Everybody on this panel has a match. It's either we're really bored because of quarantine. Some of us had kids, but they aren't really important right now. Or we're all just bored and want to have fun. And tonight was...
Say that to her face. Go on, say that to her face.
Yeah, the comic book lads will whoop your ass.
You can, because clearly a lot of kids have. My daughter punched me in the nuts today, and I liked it. No, I didn't.
She's a good kid.
What the fuck?
Yes, she is. No, honestly, today was probably one of the best days of my life, and it's been a very tough couple months, obviously. And being here has helped. And I want to thank Matt Beer and Matt G and everybody here. Because they're family. And, and before I get in, we can talk about Titan Mania all day long. We can talk about with Tom all day long. What he said today about, earlier about, living life the best you can is what really matters. And it does. And I'm getting emotional talking about it. I got to talk to one of my favorite people in the world. I don't really care about being The Rock anymore. I met fucking Tom Dagnino. You know what? I mean, sorry. And it means the world to me. That's, when you get to be here and talk with your friends and your family, this is my family. Titan Mania is my family. Titan Trivia, TMG is my family. And today, with the world going as hell as it is and crazy, and the world sucks right now, and yes, it does. We have to hold our loved ones close and everything like that. Today, I got to be with my family, and I got to have fun. And I got to talk to one of the best people in the world. And I got to hang out with my friends and my brothers, and it was worth it. Even though Grant likes to joke with me all the time, I love you, Grant. Today was fun. Today was a great day.
And with that,
your daughter learn that. Your daughter's gonna learn that. Great. I'm kidding. No.
Number one.
Mandalorians, where can people find you?
Okay, you can find us here on TMG After Dark. You can find us. You can't find us. It's impossible to find us. We are the Death Watch.
Boston.
We don't let you have binary cloaked beacons or whatever Princess Leia has in The Last Jedi. You won't be able to find us. We are the Death Watch. We are immortal. We will beat any team that comes at us as long as we are awake. Being a Mandalorian warrior is exhausting work. And thank you, Tom Dagnino, for being here tonight. That was a lot of fun. We had a lot more in common than I thought we would. But I thoroughly enjoyed tonight's episode.
And my partner in crime, my right hand, the person that helps me run this show, Mr. Matt. Mr. Bear, where can people find you online?
You can find me here on this show. You can find me on this channel in general whenever I pop up. We're going to be starting Inside the Horseshoe next week. I figured because of the draft happening Thursday, we'll do that, but we might be doing or at least I might be doing kind of recaps of each day of the draft as it goes on. We might do it, with other people too. It will just depend who wants to do it whenever. And then also a week from tomorrow, we're having a charity stream, and the link is live, so you can donate to that, where we're raising money for Feeding America, as well as getting masks for hospitals that maybe don't get any around here. And then also we're going to try to get it to other countries and stuff that don't have masks being donated to them. So that's going to be cool and all. And then, we're going to also do nursing homes because, people have to, be around the older folk, and we don't want to get the older folks in danger of dying at a nursing home. And then also you can find me finding weird things. Like, for example, this Uncle Drew basketball poster from the movie that came out in last year. I have that too, apparently. I thought that was Steph Curry. Yeah, I don't even know. He plays on the bench. I thought that was Steph Curry, but I think it was Nick Kroll. So that's kind of exciting.
Yeah, it was Nick Kroll.
So I didn't watch the movie, but I got the poster. So that worked. But yeah, and the event is called Team G Gives Back. Basically, what the stream is going to be is it's going to be basically this. We're going to be hanging out, talking, whatever. And then we're going to try to do some other shows on there. That's where we're going to do the first official episode of Inside the Horseshoe. And then if Matt wants to do Suplex on there, he can. That would give me time to go get some food because we'll be starting around 5 EST.
Maybe a little earlier, depends.
We'll make a post sharing it. And then
you guys going all night?
Until we give
up
all
night.
Yeah, we're going to go until we feel like it's done and stuff. So we have a goal. I set it at 500. So hopefully we get past that.
Mm-hmm.
That way we can get the masks and food to people.
Right on. And to add on to that, we have quite a few special guests. I guess I can drop a few names right now. You may have seen if you were watching our stream, Mr. Tom Dagnino said he'll join us. We've got Rachel Silvestrini. She's already confirmed to that. We've got Paul Preston. He said he'd hang out for a little while. I'm going to make this quick announcement. Coming to us is one of the leaders of the Five Horsemen. That would be John Roca. Mm-hmm. He's going to drop in for a little while. I haven't even told my one of my partners in crime, Jacob, that I got confirmation this morning. I got confirmation this morning that Mr. John Roca will join us, as well as John Kaiser.
Yeah.
And an interview that I'm excited as hell to have. We're going to have our friends over from Extreme Screams, hopefully. And if you look up Canis Silva's Terror Experience on YouTube, you'll know they're an extreme haunt. They're a physical haunt. They don't just scare you. They terrify you by putting you into situations that you could die, not literally, but feel like it. They're going to be dropping by and talking about their charity streams that they do. I am fucking excited as hell for that. Matt, like you said, he'll do his show. I might do a little bit of Suplex City chats. Grant and I were talking about behind the scenes, maybe doing having somebody whip up some speed round debate questions, and I will go toe to toe with him.
Yeah.
Because if you know me, speed round is where I kill. Grant as well. We're going to we'll go to probably 5. We've got 7 leagues here, I think, 5 or 6 leagues. So we'll do one question from each, and then 2 mixed bags. First to 5 points will win. Obviously, we'll have people in here to judge. Mr. Papa West, before I announce next week's guest, where can people find you, my Viking Raider TKO winner?
Yes.
And that video has dropped, so we can officially.
So we're not spoiling. And that picture of us, by the way, I loved. That might just be my my dad and me just being proud of something I'm in. But I don't know. I really like that picture. I don't know why.
I don't know what picture you're talking. I don't know what picture you're talking about, but I'll take it. I don't know.
the one that I posted in the chat that they did for Jack of All Trivia. The you'll see it.
Yeah, I'll have to go back and look at it. Yeah, I'll have to go back and look at it.
And you're welcome.
And then we might have more people on the charity stream too. I did want to throw that in. I'm waiting on confirmation from 2 of them. And there's one person I'm going to try. I'm going to start campaigning right now. I'm going to send them a message later tonight or tomorrow to try to get them on. But Pat McAfee, you're going to be on the show. I'm going to force you to be on the show.
Shoot.
I'm going to get you on.
Did you really
I don't
get Pat
care.
McAfee, and then you
Pat McAfee, you're going to be on. We're going to talk the draft. Look, listen, he has. What else are we going to do? Okay, Pat, we're raising money. You're coming on the show.
SmackDown a lot.
Pat McAfee, please come on the show.
Yeah, Pat, you better come on the show.
You're the best punter in NFL history. If we don't get you on, then just think about all the hungry people that you're not helping. No, I can't do that. That's not fair. But no, I'm going to try to get them on. That's the one name I'm going to drop. And then there's a couple others I'm just waiting on. They have some things going on in their life right now, so that's why I'm not like going like, hey, why aren't you responding? So.
Okay, I was going to ask if it's the 2 people I'm thinking of, but
it probably is.
Okay. Again, Mr. Papa West, where can people find you? Since Matt cut you off.
Dang it, Matt! Quit doing that. So you can find me on Facebook, Jacob E. West. That is very important. Twitter, Instagram, Letterboxd, all those fun stuff. KOB. Find me on the Facebook group. Cool Day presents Cool Day in the Gang. It's all on nonsense all the time. I do a weekly thing on there called Console Chats, where we just talked about something video game related. And then you can also find me at TMG Entertainment, which if you're watching this, you already know what that is.
Well, there you go. All right, Mr. Matt, we have come to the show. Are we ready to announce? I wish kind of Simrath had the artwork put up for it, but that's okay. Ladies and gentlemen, we started our Schmoedown faction, whatever you want to call it. We started with The Den with Rachel and Paul. Tonight we went into the Finstock Exchange. Next week, we take a dip into the dungeon with Eric Zipper.
Oh, yeah.
So that's right. Next week, we have Eric Zipper joining us. Again, I've met this guy personally and actually had a beer and a cheeseburger with him. Thanks to Kaiser at Spectacular. That was really weird that Kaiser showed up at Spectacular with a big ass bag of cheeseburgers. I want to ask him about that, but that's okay. So yeah, we have Eric Zipper joining us. Suplex City Chats this week should be back. I hope to God my AC doesn't explode again this week. And of course, before we close, we've got 2 more things we got to say before we close. 3, obviously. 1, this is the way.
Oh. Poor Devin.
I have one thing, but I'll let you say it first, and then I'll say my thing.
Okay, and then we
didn't get a chance to.
And then we also have to release the Snyder Cut.
Where the hell is it, guys? Come on, this is the time.
And last thing,
Google Drive.
Where the hell is the zombie?
Supporting it.
And where the hell is the zombies? This is in the words of comic book guy, worst apocalypse ever. Matt, close us out.
So I was going to get into it earlier. Matt said, let's not do it right now because, we promoted another show. So I'm going to say right now, over the past few weeks, I've been...
Oh, God.
There it comes.
Talking about bats. Guy eating a bat causing pandemic. Well, a couple days ago, articles were coming out that it might have been a chemical accident or whatever. Maybe they actually let out. I don't know. And they're looking into it right now. Real thing. Look it up. They're investigating it, seeing if it actually was a chemical thing or not. So to the guy that's dead, that died first from the virus, I want to apologize for saying don't eat bats and make fun of you for eating bats. Have you ate bats? Probably, because a lot of things are eaten there that we don't eat here, but whatever. Now, with that said, you guys shouldn't be eating bats. You're stupid if you eat bats. I'm sorry, but it's true.
You're stupid.
It's 100% true because there's so many diseases in these things, okay? Don't listen to whatever his face is in Anchorman where he's like, oh, I don't sell chicken, I sell bats. That's bat meat. Don't be like that guy. Don't be
I
like
only
that.
eat bat shit. It's called guana. It's delicious.
Let's not do that.
And if you can't eat pussy, eat bat.
Yeah, listen, there's so many great things you can eat. You can eat pussy, you can eat, I don't know, you can eat hamburger meat, you can eat a lot of things. Steak is great.
You can eat your pussy.
Eating, it's
because
not
eating
cheating
is cheating.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, but there's a lot of things. I don't know. Don't eat cats, dogs, or bats because I don't know. It's not good. So I do want to apologize to that guy, but for the guy and the people that eat bats, don't eat bats. Eat something else. And if we find out that it wasn't a chemical thing, I'm coming back hard because
But it's not 5G.
If it actually was a
So
bat.
for all idiots who think it's 5G.
I'm a dude for eating the bat. So if he actually caused a pandemic, you're outie.
Matt, I just want to point out, though, at least it wasn't 5G, like Jacob said.
Because it's bullshit, dude.
Yeah. That's it.
Okay, and on that note,
chemical things are not good because they cause pandemics too, I guess.
And on that note, I was Matty G. This was the Bobby Gucci Takeover. Good night, and we will see you next Saturday with Eric Zipper.